Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Eunice from Unique History. Today, we're diving into the absolute worst times to be alive. We're talking plagues, wars, economic disasters, the works. 5 periods in history where you'd probably wish you weren't alive. Rampant disease, starvation, violence, stuff that would make even the toughest person today say, nope, let's do this. First up, the Black Death. Imagine this. It's the 1340s, you're in your medieval village, and bam, the bubonic plague hits. We're talking gruesome symptoms like giant, painful lumps called buboes all over your body. And the worst part? It was crazy contagious. People were literally dropping dead in the streets. The Black Death wiped out 1/3 of Europe's population, millions of people. It was so bad that it reshaped society. People abandoned their homes, lost faith in their governments, and lived in constant fear. The craziest thing is, they had no idea how to stop it. Imagine doctors with zero clue how to treat this deadly disease. The Black Death was a brutal reminder of just how fragile life can be. It's hard to imagine living through something like that, but it's a stark reminder of the power of nature and the importance of modern medicine. Fast forward a few centuries, and you think humanity's learned its lesson, right? Wrong. Enter the Spanish flu of 1918. This pandemic was like the Black Death on steroids. It infected an estimated 500 million people worldwide, 1/3 of the planet's population at the time. And it didn't discriminate. It hit young, healthy people the hardest, which was terrifying. Hospitals were overflowing, doctors were working around the clock, and still, people were dying at an alarming rate. The world had just gone through a massive war, and then this pandemic hit. The Spanish flu was a stark reminder that even in the 20th century, nature could still devastate humanity. It's a sobering thought, and it really makes you appreciate the healthcare system we have today. Chapter 3. World War II, the world at war. This wasn't just one country fighting another. This was a global conflict that dragged almost every major power into the fray. From 1939 to 1945, the world witnessed death and destruction on an unimaginable scale. Over 60 million casualties, entire cities reduced to rubble, and atrocities committed that still haunt us today. Imagine living in constant fear of air raids, rationing your food, and saying goodbye to loved ones who were sent off to fight. The Holocaust, the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, these are just a few examples of the horrors that unfolded during this dark period. World War II was a stark reminder of the destructive power of hatred, intolerance, and unchecked ambition. It's a chapter in human history that we must never forget, lest we repeat the mistakes of the past. Chapter 4. The Great Depression, a global economic nightmare. The Great Depression, which started in 1929, wasn't just about losing money, it was about losing hope. Imagine working your entire life, building a comfortable life for you and your family, and then bam, the stock market crashes, wiping out your savings. People lost their jobs, their homes, and their dignity. Breadlines stretched for blocks, unemployment skyrocketed, and the world was plunged into a state of economic despair. It was a time when even basic necessities were hard to come by. The Great Depression was a harsh reminder that even in the midst of prosperity, things can change in the blink of an eye. It taught us the importance of social safety nets, responsible financial practices, and the need to look out for one another during tough times. Chapter 5. The Fall of Rome, the Collapse of an Empire. Finally, we go back to ancient times, to witness the fall of one of history's most powerful empires, the Roman Empire. This wasn't a sudden collapse, but a slow and painful decline that spanned centuries. Imagine a civilization that had stood for over 1,000 years, a beacon of art, culture, and military might, crumbling from within. Political instability, economic woes, barbarian invasions, it was a perfect storm of problems that chipped away at the empire's foundations. Cities that were once bustling centers of trade and innovation fell into disrepair. Law and order broke down, and the once mighty Roman legions were stretched thin, unable to defend the empire's vast borders. The fall of Rome marked the end of an era and ushered in a period of instability and change. It's a reminder that even the mightiest empires can fall, and that progress is not always linear. So there you have it. 5 of the absolute worst times to be alive in human history. It's crazy to think that humans have lived through all of that and still managed to build the world we live in today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Unique History Channel for more videos. We'll be back with more fascinating, terrifying, and thought-provoking stories from the past. Until then, stay curious, my friends.